Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I am your host, Ron Dichter, and today I want to go back to the basics. You know, I started this podcast a few months ago. I think we're 60 some odd episodes in, and the whole concept was really started about helping people understand that whatever the vision is that you have in your mind or that you believe in your heart, you can make that happen, but you have to be able to believe it, and then you have to be able to embrace it, and then you have to be able to walk it. And I think that the challenge that a lot of people face is not dissimilar to, kind of a lot of the challenges that new entrepreneurs face, in that most of it really stems down to confidence. And so today I want to go back to the beginning, and I want to talk a little bit about why I started this. I want to talk about Projecting Grandeur, because I think for those of you that have tuned in kind of the middle, maybe you didn't get some of that definitional stuff that I talked about in the beginning. And I want to just talk a little bit about my beginning, because I talk to so many business owners and so many people in my weeks that I sometimes forget that a lot of people, they only see the me today, and they don't know, that I was where they are. Frankly, I might have been even worse off than where many of them are today as they're starting their journey. And so, let's first talk about projecting grandeur. What does this mean? So the whole concept of projecting grandeur is about manifesting what you believe that you are destined to become before the world gives you permission, before you've actually showcased, the results. It's about believing inside of your heart that you can do something, that if you really stay focused, if you really put your mind to it, if you really put in the work and you grind, that you believe that that thing inside of you can happen. And so projecting grandeur, at least from my vantage point, is all about telling the world, this is what I'm going to do, and really start putting action in place to have that thing happen. And you don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to wait for the world to give you an approval. Frankly, you should never wait for the world to give you an approval. You only need your own approval to go do these things. So projecting grandeur is all about manifesting what's inside of you that you want to let out, that something's holding you back. And this podcast is going to help you, or at least I hope it will help you, to be able to unlock that potential that you are dying to let the world know you have. So as I think about my own journey of projecting grandeur, I want to take you back to the early days. I was ending my sophomore year of college. I was about to start my junior year, and I was by no means a model student. I had average grades. I had fairly, decent attendance in class, but I wasn't like, the apple on the desk for the teacher student. And really my existence in college was really to figure out my life. And I knew that I wasn't going to be the guy that graduates top in his class and go work for some big company or law firm or something like that that would allow me, to immediately have a high income. I knew that wasn't going to be my journey. And I figured out somewhere around the end of my sophomore year, beginning of my junior year, that if I'm going to have the success that I want, then I am going to have to do it myself. And so I started on that path in college and dabbled in a few different things to figure out what I wanted to do. And while a lot of my friends were out, partying and having fun and doing things, I was like opening up little offices and trying to figure out businesses. And people thought I was a little bit nutty. What is this? And they didn't get it. A lot of my early on stuff was internet and World Wide Web based, which again was only a year or two old at that time. And I had to really project my own grandeur. And one of the first businesses that I started that I've talked about on this podcast was one called Millennium International. And the concept of this business, mind you, in the late 90s, so internet was relatively, actually it wasn't even late 90s, it was mid 90s, like 95, 96 time frame. So the World Wide Web was only a couple of years old. And the concept was let's build a virtual mall. Let's lease space to businesses in the mall. Let's promote this mall, to consumers, and let's try to drive engagement between individual people and businesses into this mall. And at the time, not every business, frankly, most businesses didn't have websites. And so I had to not only convince them that they should lease space in my mall, I had to convince them they needed a website in the first place so that they could actually have a storefront in the mall. And I remember one of the first things I did was try to recruit some salespeople to start selling. And I was very much grassroots and doing everything myself. I would print out, so let me back up. So one of the first cities that we recruited in was in southern Utah. I was in Salt Lake City at the time, and we went down to a smaller city in southern Utah, and we did newspaper ads, and we did printed flyers that we went around to college and universities and put them on desks at 5 in the morning before a class started, so when they came in they saw it. We did little cards on people's cars and a host of other things like flyers in coffee shops. And we tried to promote this seminar that we were going to come in and show individuals, so it was a 2-day, individuals how to build a business selling space in our mall, and the second was to the businesses to show them the benefit of it. And this recruiting ended up yielding about 110 people that came to this auditorium to listen to me speak, of which I had never done, about this new business. And I was terrified, not just about the speaking part, but I'm 20 at this point, maybe 19, 20, somewhere around there. And I had a room full of 100 plus people that were not only learning about the opportunity that Millennium presented to them, they were learning about the internet. The internet, not everybody had internet. I mean, everything was dial-up at that point. There was no high-speed internet. That didn't exist, at that time. And I had to project out the grandeur of what I envisioned this company could be in front of this audience. And it was really hard, and I knew in my heart of heart that this business was going to be a success, but I didn't exactly know how. I didn't know what that roadmap looked like at that time. And so I had to get up there and muster up the confidence and the belief to be able to project my own grandeur of what this can be. And I think those early days helped me build the confidence to be able to believe that I can take nothing and turn it into something in the form of a business, because I've done it numerous times since then. And once you believe that your business can work, once you see the roadmap in your head of how you're going to do this, well, now you have the plan. And so what you need to do now is to be able to muster up the confidence to tell the world. And everyone, trust me, everyone out there is going to be a naysayer about the business. Yeah, you're going to get support from friends and family, at least in your face, and then behind your back, they'll probably be snickering, going, what is Ron doing? This is a joke. And you have to be able to be the one that believes in your business. Because if you can't get past all that negativity, if you can't get past, the people poo-pooing your business and the naysayers out there, you're not going to make it. You have to believe. And so going back to the point here, projecting grandeur is about knowing that you have something amazing to offer. Maybe it's not fully fleshed out, but directionally what you're trying to do, and you're digging deep inside to manifest that so that you can tell the world what you're about to accomplish. You can start doing all the necessary steps, put blinders on to everybody who's going to be negative around it, and focus on the task. And if you can do that, you are going to be so far ahead of everybody else, because most people, what ends up happening is they get embarrassed or uncomfortable, or they can't handle the criticism and they quit. And that's what exactly they want you to do, because everybody wants to be successful, but not everybody's willing to do the work it takes to be successful. And so when they see somebody who starts to go outside of the mold and starts to do things that they may know actually will yield success, they want to try to bring them back down because they don't want to feel bad about their life. So project your own grandeur. Project your own confidence. Don't let other people discourage you. Don't let other people sway you. Stay the course. Know what you're trying to do. and you will be successful. Project grandeur, folks. This is what the point of this show is all about, and I'm here to help you. If you have questions, you can always DM me. You can always send me an email, and I'm always willing to talk to everyone out there about your journey. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of our community. We are Projecting Grandeur. We're changing the world, and we're doing it collectively. Take care.